You're listening to the audio production of 40 Lives in 40 Days, experiencing God's grace through the Bible's most compelling characters, by John MacArthur, published by Thomas Nelson and read by Henry O. Arnold.
Chapter 1. Simon Peter. Simon, son of Jonah, do you love me more than these? Feed my lambs. John chapter 21, verse 15. With the long nights required to bring in a decent haul, and the violent storms that could erupt with barely a moment's notice, being a fisherman on the Sea of Galilee was a rough job. In fact, rough is how one might describe Simon before he was forever changed by Jesus. Simon, the fisherman-turned-disciple, was impetuous, impulsive, and overeager. He often put his foot in his mouth, and he has the notable distinction of being the only person in the Gospels Jesus addressed as Satan. And yet, despite Simon's turbulent persona, Jesus gave him the nickname Peter, or Rock. In every list of disciples found in the New Testament, Peter is listed first. He was part of Jesus' inner circle, and it seems he enjoyed a special relationship with the Lord. Simon could certainly be rough around the edges, but that didn't prevent Jesus from utilizing his friend for kingdom leadership. By nature, Simon was brash, vacillating, and undependable. He tended to make great promises he couldn't follow through with. He was one of those people who lunges wholeheartedly into something, but then bails out before finishing. Jesus changed Simon's name, it appears, because he wanted the nickname to be a perpetual reminder to him about who he should be. Peter was exactly like most Christians, both carnal and spiritual. He succumbed to the habits of the flesh sometimes. He functioned in the Spirit other times. He was sinful sometimes, but other times he acted the way a righteous man ought to act. This vacillating man, sometimes Simon, sometimes Peter, was the leader of the 12. Jesus chose Simon Peter not because he was doing everything right, but because he knew his great potential. Even though he needed training and life experience, Peter had the raw materials that make an excellent leader. First, he was highly inquisitive. It was usually Peter who asked the Lord to explain his difficult sayings. Matthew chapter 15, verse 15, Luke chapter 12, verse 41. It was Peter who asked how often he needed to forgive. Matthew chapter 18, verse 21. It was Peter who asked about the withered fig tree. Mark chapter 11, verse 20.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?